Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Anwar, and I am Michael Buckoff, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And thank you for your comments at my website. And this is giving me a lot of information here. So the more information you give me, and you've given me a lot of good information here, I can better help you reach your academic English goals. My goal is to help you not just get a high TOEFL score, but to have English for a lifetime. How about that? So if you need English in the future, maybe for your graduate studies, or you need English for a job, or you need English just so you can communicate with other people, I am your man here. That is what I'm going to try to help you do. So you say, I'm a student at CSUSB in the ACLP Level 4. I've already taken the TOEFL ITP test twice at CSUSB. I got low score. My score for the first time was 393 and 413 on the second test, and my marks was, I'm going to change this to were, because you have a plural subject there. So my marks were, so you got 51 on the listening, the structure and written expression you got 36, and you got 37 points on the reading. So if I remember correctly, I think it's out of about 67 or 68 in the range here. We'll just say 68 for right now. You say, I want to study a master's degree in MBA, so I have to improve my reading, grammar, vocabulary, and so on. My goal is at least 570 by the end of level 6, which is 7 months from now. Can you help me to improve these skills to get registered at the CSUSB for master's program? Yes, I can do that. And that's what I'm going to do in this video. I would say here I am passive, meaning here I am interested in your online website that you prescribed, and I've gone through some of it. What would you recommend me, or would you recommend me to take a TOEFL IBT? If you don't have to, no. I don't think you need to worry about that. If you're going to California State University, San Bernardino, where I teach and where you are a student, I think our requirement is if you finish the English language program, you don't have to take the IBT TOEFL. So my recommendation is to just focus right now on the ITP. Now your next question is, what is the difference between the IBT and the ITP? Good question. IBT means Internet-based TOEFL exam. IT means the institutional TOEFL program. So the IBT is a test that you can take. It's considered the international TOEFL test. It's good pretty much at any university where English is spoken. You can use it anywhere you want. The ITP, also known as the paper-based TOEFL test, you can only use it at the university where you are studying. Now, structurally, the Internet-based TOEFL, as you know, has reading, listening, speaking, and writing sections. The paper-based TOEFL simply has listening, grammar, and reading sections. So there's differences in terms of where the test is accepted, and of course there's differences in the format between these two tests. Now the suggestions I'm going to give you are based on a few assumptions. Number one, you got to be willing to work hard if you want to make meaningful changes in your second language acquisition, and ultimately big changes in your TOEFL score. So my question to you is, are you willing to work hard? Because if you're lazy, forget it. High TOEFL scores typically don't go to lazy students. Alright, now I'm also basing my suggestions on the assumption that you are in the English language program, so you are getting English instruction every day in grammar and reading. You're getting instruction in writing and also speaking and listening. So you're getting some good instruction every day already, right? But you probably need to do more than that. So I'm going to give you some additional things that you can do. Now, if your teachers are already telling you to do this and you're doing it, then you're fine. But the first thing I'm going to tell you to do right now, and let me start here, get in the habit of reading. Actually, read for about 45 minutes daily. This is important. Number 2, listen to texts every day. Actually, because you're already in the English language program, I'm going to lower this because you're pretty busy with all your studies. I'm going to say 25 minutes here. So every day, in addition to your normal studies, I want you to practice reading for about 25 minutes daily. For reading, you can focus on news, documentary, and actually, forget that. You can focus on newspapers, magazines, and also longer books, and choose topics in which you have a genuine interest. This is important. Now, you can also practice listening every day for about 25 minutes. Now, in this case, if you have English TV, this is really good. So you can, if you have like DirecTV or you have Comcast or something along those lines, that's going to give you plenty enough practice, I think. So when you're watching TV, choose programs that will give you some pretty good vocabulary. So let me give you some different genres of TV that's going to be good for you. News programs, history programs, documentary programs, and even science programs. You've probably noticed, Anwar, when you take the TOEFL exam, you'll see reading and listening passages focusing on science-type topics. So the more practice you have with science-type topics, the better you're going to be. Now, if you want some websites that you can use, I'll give you some suggestions here. National Public Radio is a good one. Another one is TED Talks. And then the final one, your teachers have probably told you about this one, Randall's Cyber Listening Lab. You can find these by going to Google. So these are great websites you can use in addition to English TV. Now, you're not done yet, though. You have to make sure when you're doing your reading and your listening practice, you are definitely focusing on your note-taking. Note-taking is important, even though you cannot take notes during the TOEFL, the paper-based TOEFL exam that you'll take at Cal State University. It's still important to work on your note-taking skills. It helps you think better in the language. It helps you pay attention more to the reading and the listening passages that you are practicing. Okay, so now, once you've done that, I'm going to give you a recommendation. This is something you can do on a week-to-week basis. First of all, I want you to write 3 250-word summaries, and these summaries come from the reading and the listening passages that you're practicing. That means that you're practicing about 750 words of writing every week. In addition to whatever classes you're taking, this is in addition to that. So you're writing 3 250-word summaries each week. I promise you, as you do this writing practice, you will be able to complete your assignments better in the ELP program anyway. Now, you should also give 3 60-second oral summaries each week too. You need to get used to writing and speaking about the reading and the listening passages that you're practicing. This is good for your language use. Even though the TOEFL, the paper-based TOEFL, doesn't test writing and speaking directly, trust me, this will help you. It'll help you listen more proficiently. You'll be able to do better on the grammar section of the paper-based TOEFL and so on. So again, when you're doing your 60-second oral summaries, you want to make sure you're recording your voice as you give those summaries. Now, the reason you should record your voice giving these oral summaries is it helps you get more used to your own speech patterns, and you can pay more attention to your grammar and also your vocabulary usage. You can also pay attention to how you organize your ideas and develop those responses, and you can even pay attention to pronunciation. So it's important that you practice speaking on a regular basis too. Now, I know you're a good speaker of American English. I've talked to you myself many times. You're a great student, good person, but this is going to help you. It will help you. So now I've gone through suggestions 1 through 5. Now the next thing is, let's take a look at my online TOEFL course. Now, what I'm going to say right now is you should be studying for the TOEFL and doing specific things to help you improve your TOEFL score, but keep it in perspective. So my recommendation is about 60% of your time right now, when you have free time in addition to your studies, and sometimes when you have breaks, like you may have 2 or 3 week break between summer and fall quarters, you want to use that time to really study and follow the suggestions in this video. Because if you relax, if you don't do anything, your English is going to get worse. You got to face the fact. But if you're continually doing things on a day-to-day basis, on a week-to-week, month-to-month basis, you will get progress. You will solve language problems and you will improve. So 60% of your time right now should be spent going through steps 1 through 5. Now then, you got 40% of your time should be spent going through my online TOEFL course. I'm going to tell you how to use my course. Okay, the first thing you want to do here is, when you start going through my course, the first thing I recommend is I want you to complete, first of all, the vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar sections. Do these first. This will probably take you maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months. Start going through these sections, right? When you have more time, you can study more. When you're a little bit busy, study less. But you should be going through these sections. Now, the next thing, after you've gone through the first 3 sections of my course, I then want you to complete the reading and the listening sections. Do these next. That's probably another 1 or 2 months. And then finally, once you've done the first 5 sections of my course, you've done the vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, listening, and reading sections, now you're ready to complete the writing and the speaking sections of my course. You see what we're saying? These are my recommendations for you right now, so let's put it in perspective again. Now, you have 60% of your time is going through steps 1 through 5, 40% of your time you're going through the lessons in my online TOEFL course following this approach. You see what I'm saying? And those are my suggestions for you. So I'm going to be honest with you, though. You want to go from 413 to 570 in 7 months. You will have to work for that goal. It will not come easily. Remember that we have many of our level 6 students. I'm pretty familiar with the TOEFL. Many of them, when they get to level 6, their TOEFL scores are still in the 400s, which is not good. And then I usually have about 3 or 4 students whose TOEFL scores are above 500 or even above 550. My goal is to help you be one of those students who has a TOEFL score above 570. Wouldn't that be good? It's not the TOEFL score per se, but what it is, it's telling you that you've developed some pretty strong academic English language proficiencies. And that's a good thing, right? So these are my recommendations for you. And what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to enroll you in my online TOEFL course so you can begin your study plan today. Remember though, do not let a day go by. Every day you are doing something here. Either you're doing steps 1 through 5 or you're doing step 6 by going through the lessons as I suggested in the video. Don't let one day go by that you don't do something to improve your English. This is very, very, very important.